Welcome to Cloud and Clear. I'm your host, Rocky Giglio, Global Director of Security here at SADA. And on with me today is a man who's become a friend of mine, but also a really good technologist and sales leader, Scott Sumner, Director of Global Strategic Alliance at Wiz. And Scott, super excited to have you on here today, man.
Hey, thanks, Rocky. Thanks for having me. Yeah, this is exciting for me too.
Yeah, lots of good stuff happening over there. So loving to. I can't wait to just jump in, hear what you've got going on, and so maybe I'm just going to do that because my excitement is boiling over here. So tell us, what's Wiz been up to? There's always seems like something new from you guys. Every week I see a new blog post, a new feature. I can't keep track of the roadmap. It seems like every day there's something else checked off on the list. In fact, I was talking to a customer last week, and they're on-prem, and I was like, there was a feature that was on the roadmap. Let me go look at oh, it's done. It's been done for months. So Scott, what's going on at Wiz? What are you guys up to?
Like you said, there's always really a lot of stuff going on, which is cool. I'm, in my 2.5 years here, we haven't really stopped running. It seems like we're moving as quickly as we can. Pretty much as fast as the market will allow us to run. All of the AI stuff that is happening,
swirling around. The dirty word, AI,
Yeah, well, it's all around us, especially with the NVIDIA conference that just happened recently. So I would tell you that we continue to release new features essentially weekly. We have some North Star features that are coming out. And we're going to talk a little bit about our AI SPM module too. So we've been in the news lately, some really good things happening with our leadership. We have a new COO president that came over from Zscaler that's changing some things up in a great way. So super excited about what the future holds, and just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I love it, Scott. There's I joke, but everything is AI, right? I mean, if you're not talking about it, your head's kind of stuck in the sand, right? As much as we all hate buzzwords and how overloaded we get with these things, and maybe more so now than ever before, and yet it's prolific, right? Every tool, every vendor, every platform is looking at how they build AI into what they're doing. So let's dive in there for a minute because it is such a hot topic. And from a security perspective, there are some real challenges here, right? Wiz, obviously, born in the cloud security posture management space. You guys rocketed to the lead there. I think still the fastest growing tech company ever, if I recall correctly, right? So what are you guys doing with AI? Talk a little bit about that and where you see AI going, or what you guys are doing next, I guess. You just were at NVIDIA. So what's going on with the AI space?
I don't know if your audience has heard about the AI SPM aspect of Wiz. So the security posture management of AI. What we've been doing is basically helping customers that are in the process of rolling out any type of AI strategy. And let's maybe talk about what Google's doing to be a little bit more focused. So if the customer's rolling out some Vertex AI, then basically we give them a use case to show how they can secure those things. So we have some components of AI in the product as well, but first and foremost, it's about how we can make the customer more secure along their journey into this new area. So I'm with you on everything AI. Personally, I love it. I think that as a consumer using it's amazing, but I also see all of the drawbacks that exist as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of experimentation still. We're in this phase where it's moving faster than we can keep up. So you kind of find yourself like, okay, let me just wait and see what happens next. You mentioned Vertex AI, and you've got Gemini, you've got all these large language models. You can roll your own, right? So there's all these different things you can do now in the space, and of course, each vendor is trying to integrate that. But that also means what you guys are doing in this space is super important, right? The security side of AI. So I talk about just the danger of exposure that we're all of a sudden facing. Where before we all knew that our data exposure was a thing, right? Like, my data could leak, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now put a large language model in front of that data set and ask it a question, and it spits out this nice little answer for you that you copy paste, throw it in an email, send it to the world. send it on a blog post, whatever. Like all of a sudden, oh my goodness, we just took that potential data breach, and multiplied it to a factor of 100, right? I mean, so now it's just that much more important, which I think is why what you guys are doing in this space is somewhat unique, and is also super important for our customers.
Totally agree. I also think having the language models be tainted as well is something that everybody needs to look out for. So there's all kinds of aspects to this journey as we're all moving forward. So we want to make sure that the customer understands that maybe individuals that otherwise didn't know that they were turning these things up, that they have visibility to see that there are some AI modules that have been turned up, and then quickly give them the ability to put a perimeter around it of sorts so that they can see that there's potential for any leakage or any taint that could occur with anything that is happening regarding the module. So I personally think of it like somebody drops this into your environment, Wiz can quickly show you, hey, somebody's dealing with something that they otherwise weren't, it wasn't sanctioned. And you can quickly see that there's a perimeter around it. Wiz gives you that ability to see all of that very quickly. And in some cases, you wouldn't even know it was there otherwise.
Yeah. So Scott, let's talk a little bit about kind of Wiz's unique positioning here. I mean, this is something you guys are very good at, getting, because of the way Wiz approaches security, right? So talk a little bit about that. Like, how are you handling this at the AI space, that discovery, but really also the core of what you're doing, and why that plugs right into this model?
For those of your audience that don't know, Wiz is an agentless CNAPP tool. So what we mean by agentless is we can see all of the environment without actually installing agents on it. So if a customer were to deploy some type of technology, let's say Vertex AI, then we would actually see that immediately without actually having to deploy anything new into the environment. And essentially, you would be able to look at the installation from the standpoint of, was it done correctly? Do I need to have any other security aspects looked at? And essentially, you would know too that somebody is doing something without actually having to have any discussions with them. So for customers that already exist that have Wiz, they have this right off the bat. So for customers that would like to know more about this, they should totally go to our website and look at our demonstration that we have on the AI SPM module today.
Yeah, I love it. And that scanning that you guys are doing, I mean, that's something I think you even have some recent updates to. I think I saw a note on some new runtime scanners, so that's super interesting. I guess
Yes.
let me pause there and just have you tell us about that. But then I want to come back to this scanning layer relative to the data challenges that we're all having.
Well, as customers move into the cloud, they want to take advantage of what the cloud offers. And in a lot of cases, those functions are, the latest and greatest, what either it be Kubernetes or functions or, some type of serverless aspect. Our new scanning technology works with the Kubernetes environment. So for a customer that needs to have more visibility into their Kubernetes infrastructure, be it GKE, EKS, AKS, whatever it is, we can give them that level of comfort that we now can actually see what's happening at a level that they otherwise wouldn't be able to. So it's just another aspect to the Wiz solution that's bringing more value to the customer. Part of our mission basically is to secure everything that customers build and put in the cloud. So this is just another motion that we're taking in that direction.
Yeah, I love it, and that feeds right into where I wanted to back up to, which is data security was always important. Now is so much more important with AI. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing in that space, because I think again this is an area where Wiz has really taken a unique approach, done something that we've all needed help with. So talk about your data security stuff.
This, like, it comes down to like skill set and knowledge of the individual's environment. So what we're trying to do is build something that simplifies that. So from a customer perspective, Wiz is super easy to deploy. This is something that, part of our partnership with SADA that you guys love as well, that basically you can show up at a customer's environment, you can deploy, it's not even a deployment, it's a connection into their environment within minutes. And then they're getting actual real-time information about their environment within 24 hours, but you're actually seeing it even sooner than that. So its time to value is extremely fast. It's one of our hallmarks of why we are able to get to 40% of the Fortune 100 in a very short period of time, and why we're one of the fastest growing companies. We are the fastest growing company ever.
Yeah, and that's amazing just in and of itself. Not to mention, you grew that fast with a tool that was doing some unique things, and you've maintained that momentum, right? And not just the momentum, but also the platform itself. I mean, every time I talk to a customer about Wiz, every time I talk to my team about what we're doing with Wiz, it's just nothing but, oh, it's just amazing. It just works. It's giving us all this insight. We're getting great feedback, and so that's what we want, especially in the security space. There are thousands of tools, the thousands of challenges, the threat landscape's ever evolving. You need to be able to trust your security tool. And so you guys have that reputation, which I think is fantastic.
100%. You know this, being in the space, and all of your listeners that are, focused in on this, there's something called the shared security responsibility model. It's been there for years, since the beginning of time with the cloud providers. Essentially, what we've done at Wiz is we've taken that shared security responsibility model and we've pushed it down into the organization. It doesn't just stop now with the security teams. We call that democratizing security. And essentially, you're going to ask me what that means. Come on, you should ask me what that means. Democratizing security. It's basically increasing the stakeholders that are responsible for the security of the organization. Yeah. So instead of putting all the burden on the security teams, now partners and DevOps, individuals within the organization that otherwise wouldn't have thought that they had any fight in the security battle that we're all trying to win, now they do, because Wiz will democratize that security for them. We have thousands of people that log into Wiz daily, and probably the majority of them are not actual cybersecurity knowledgeable people. They're just people like DevOps individuals, compliance individuals that are able to then get a view of what their security posture is as it pertains to the organization. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, no, that's super important. I mean, there is this ever-growing challenge. Attackers are using AI. The more and more data is exposed, which means there's more and more intelligence for the hackers themselves, right? Nation-state actors that are well-funded, and then just misconfiguration galore because we're all moving fast. We got stuff to do. No one ever comes back and does the cleanup that they said they were going to do, right? So you guys are in this space, and that message of democratizing this is super important, right? We need everybody to kind of understand that you're part of this game. We're all tired of the phishing campaign trainings and all the stuff that we get, and yet phishing and misconfiguration continue to be an issue. And so until we all start taking part, I think that's fantastic. And this makes that meaningful, right? So now you see from whatever your role is in the cloud consumption space, you get a good picture of what's really going on, along with developers. I mean, that's another thing you guys have really been investing in here lately, is that view to the developer who's building these machines and that are making their way out, or the container environments, the application code. And again, I think that's something that's worth highlighting. So talk about what you guys have been doing there and why that's so important.
Yeah, so huge push for shift left, even more so than what we've already have here at Wiz. And I would tell you that it starts there, right? So what our CTO once said, you have to look right to shift left. I thought it was brilliant, right? Because it's like looking both ways before you cross the street, right? So the shift left motion, we're going to do, even more integrations there, so that we can give that value back to the customer in a way that makes them extremely more secure. And I would tell you that as we go through this journey of democratizing security, because it's something that I feel like has started with Wiz, you're going to see more individuals take a higher stake in what they see as the overall security posture for their company. Who doesn't want to have a stake in the security of their company, right? We all work at places because we love to, in most cases, and I would totally want to be able to make sure that the place where I worked is as secure as it possibly can be.
And I think it's more than just saying let's democratize this, right? You're actually giving valuable insights back to those developers, and recommendations on ways to harden the code and the infrastructures that they're writing. whether they're an infrastructure engineer or an application developer, like getting that feedback in a meaningful way that says, hey, this is a critical vulnerability and you really don't want to push this out into your production environment. And by the way, here's some recommendations on how to fix it.
Exactly. As you operationalize, as a customer operationalizes Wiz, all of the things that you just said come into play. It's the ability for that individual to see their security posture of whatever they're building before it goes into production. I think it's really amazing in order to give somebody that, because normally what happens is the DevOps people, they don't necessarily know that they've built something incorrectly. That's the way they've always done it. And they didn't realize it was out of compliance or something like that. Giving people the ability to see that they can make these modifications and changes, it speeds up time to value immensely. So not just securing things, but it also makes things move a lot faster than what they would otherwise.
Yeah, I think we could keep going about all the different features and things that you guys are doing. We'd probably spend 4 hours just talking about that. But let's move a little bit into just where we're going together. While not as impressive, we rocketed our way up to the 5th most certified company for Wiz, and we're pouring into the certification stack and getting the teams ready. We've got a bunch of custom offerings, bringing a bunch of stuff to marketplace here soon. Working closely with Google. So, for you as a partner of SADA, is why is that important to you to work with a company like SADA? How do you see kind of our future together here as we continue to build?
So we see SADA not just as the experts in Google Cloud, but as like a partner across all ecosystems. Where what Wiz can do is essentially we complement your expertise. That's how I see it. So whenever you go in to operationalize something for a customer, it's not just Wiz doing everything. It's basically you helping a customer understand how to use and leverage this tool in the optimal way. And this is why being such a great partner that you are with Wiz is something that's going to actually make us move together faster and help secure more people than what we otherwise would have. That's why it's such a great partnership with SADA.
Yeah, and that's something that I think we're having a lot of fun doing. Right, is the teams have been working together. I think we went up to a couple different trainings with the teams, looking at professional services integrations, and so now we've got this solution set where we're taking Wiz, working that into the assessment methodology that we're using with our customers, so we can quickly assess the current state of the environment and make those technical changes while we focus with them on. Well, you said it earlier, democratizing this security and making sure that everyone's aware of their part in that. But then more importantly for us in the assessment process is how do you do security? Why are you doing it? And Wiz is a huge rocket ship to getting to the right conversations and having the right view of the customer environment.
I'm super excited about the assessment that you guys are putting together with us here at Wiz. I think it's going to be amazing, and customers are going to gravitate towards it, and you'll be able to show the value so quickly. It's really going to be a game changer.
Love it. You're going to be at Google next. We're going to be at Google next. Our customers should come see us and hang out.
So we're going to have a couple of speaking sessions. I encourage all of the listeners to seek us out there. We have a large booth. We're one of the top sponsors, so along with you guys as well. Come find us and please ask for a demonstration of how Wiz secures Vertex AI whenever you're there, and Google Cloud in general. We would love that.
Well, there'll be a lot more room, which means the booths will be awesome. So stop by the Wiz booth, stop by the SADA booth, ask for information about Wiz. I'd love to connect with our customers. Looking forward to seeing you guys there, and check out Wiz. Was it wiz.io if you want to check out the product and get a demo yourself, get your hands on, or just call your SADA team. We'll get you connected, get a proof of value going. And Scott, thank you so much for joining today. I can't believe how much stuff we had to talk about just on feature set. I love it. The work continues. Yesterday, you guys announced the threat intel site. I mean, that's just fantastic stuff that's going to help so many people really understand what's going on in the landscape. So,
check us out. This is our CEO just said in a news report yesterday, this is the year of acquisition for Wiz. So there's a lot more changes coming too.
Exciting. We'll stay tuned, and we'll have to have you back on in a year from now just so we can talk about all those acquisitions.
Awesome. Thanks, Rocky.
Scott, thanks for taking the time with us today. Check out wiz.io. Don't miss out on the fastest growing security tool and probably one of the easiest you've ever used. So see you at Google Next. If not, we'll see you online. Thanks all.
Thanks, Rocky.
Thank you for listening to Cloud and Clear. Check the show notes for links to this week's topics. And don't forget to connect with us on Twitter @Cloud and Clear and our website, sada.com.